Hi, welcome to Learning Monkey. I am Raghuveer. In this class, we will discuss about introduction to graph. This is our first class on graph theory. So you need to concentrate much. Here we are going to discuss the basics and the terminology which we are going to use in the graph theory. We go little deep into the applications for better understanding of the graph. So let's come into the concept. A graph contains. So what's a graph contains? First try to understand. A graph contains vertices. We call them as, we are having a set of vertices. And we are having edges. We call them as, we are having a set of edges. In a graph, we are having set of vertices and set of edges. So what's vertices, what's edges, you are going to understand in a minute. So now assume that in our graph we are having V is equal to set of vertices V1, V2, V3, V4. We are having 4 vertices. Vertices are also called as nodes, or you can interchangeably use the word vertices and nodes. So how many vertices are there? V1, V2, V3, V4, 4 vertices are there. In our graph we are having E edges. E is equal to set of edges. E1, E2, E3, E4, so on like that. We are having set of edges. Now try to understand what is edge. Edge is a connection between two vertices. E1 is an edge that is connecting two vertices. What's those vertices? V1 and V2. E2 is an edge that is connecting between two vertices V1 and V3. That is what edge means. Now take a look at an example how a graph looks like. So this is how a graph looks like. V1, V2, V3, V4, we are having 4 vertices. These vertices can be shown like using a circle, and in some textbooks they will follow square. You can go with any one of the notation. Vertices, we are having 4 vertices, and V1 and V2 is having an edge. E1 means those two vertices are connected using E1. This can be shown like this. These two vertices are connected, E1. There is an edge. That edge name is E1. Similarly, V1 and V3 is connected using E2. Edge is connection between two vertices. Similarly, E3 connecting, E4 connecting. We are having 4 edges here. So this is how a graph looks like. And one more concept we need to understand, and before we move on to where we are going to use this concept of graphs, what are the applications in computer science? So we are going to give 2 applications where we are using this graph concept for better understanding of the concept. Before moving on that, let's try to understand what are adjacent vertices means. Adjacent vertices means, let's take a vertex V1. What are the adjacent vertices for V1 means? V1 is adjacent to V2, V1 is adjacent to V3. The adjacent vertices for V1 are V2 and V3. Why we call them as adjacent vertices? Because V1, V2 having an edge. V1, V3 is having an edge. They are directly connected to V1. V2 is directly connected to V1. V3 is directly connected to V1. So these two we call them as adjacent vertices for V1. Similarly, what are the adjacent vertices for V4? V4 is directly connected to V3. So adjacent vertices for V4 is V3. That is what adjacent vertices means. So adjacent vertices of V1 is V2, V3. Adjacent vertices for V4 is V3. Similarly, adjacent vertices for V2 is V3, V1. They are directly connected. Indirectly connected, yes, we go from here to here and here to here. But this is not the direct connection. You need to understand that. Okay, now coming to the applications where we are going to use the concept of graph. So one of the best example to understand where we are going to use graph is network connections. What's network connection means? Take systems S1, S2, S3, S4. We are having 4 systems. Here we call them as 4 systems means you can assume it as 4 computer systems, desktops. And these desktops are interconnected using a network. S1 is connected to S2, S1 is connected to S4, S2 is connected to S3, S2 is connected to S4, S3 is connected to S4. How a network is interconnected? This can be shown using a graph. This is one of the applications where we are going to use graphs in computer networks, computer science. There are many applications. You try to understand one more application, friends in a Facebook. F1 is a person, F1 is a Facebook account, F2 is a Facebook account, F3 is a Facebook account, F4 is a Facebook account, F5 is a Facebook account. Each account we consider it as a node, means vertex. F1 is friend to F2, so make an edge. F1 is friend to F4, you place an edge for F1 and F4. They are directly connected, those two are friends. Similarly, F2 to F3, F2 to F4, F2 to F5. This is how the network in the Facebook, friends network in the Facebook can be represented using a graph. This is one of the applications. You may use it, you may not use it. But this is how you can show the connection between the friends. This is one of the example. And how we are going to implement this in computer science and how we write the coding for this, these concepts were discussed in our data structures playlist. Here we will understand the graphs concept, basic concepts in discrete mathematics, but the real applications, the coding part will be discussed in our data structures and design and analysis of algorithms playlist. Hope you understand the basics of graph. If you have any questions regarding the concept, please post your questions in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to our channel and press bell icon for the latest updates. Thank you.